Okey, Doktor, pada ruang ketika ini seperti dikongsikan di kaca televisyen, iaitu ketibaan Yang Berhormat Perdana Menteri diiringi oleh Yang Berhormat Timbalan Perdana Menteri Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof serta Menteri Luar Malaysia iaitu Datuk Seri Mohamad bin Haji Hassan. Dan pada ketika ini pastinya delegasi dan juga rakan dialog serta menteri-menteri di luar ASEAN telah pun bersedia untuk kita menyaksikan atur cara yang sangat bersejarah. Jadi kita terus saja memberikan tumpuan di Dewan Plenari Pusat Konvensyen Kuala Lumpur pada ketika ini.
The Honourable Datuk Seri Utama Haji Mohamad bin Haji Hassan, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Malaysia. Her Excellency Maria Teresa Lazaro, Secretary of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of the Philippines. The Honourable Datuk Seri Setia Haji Iriwan bin Pehin Datuk Perkembangan Jaya Haji Muhammad Yusof, Minister of Foreign Affairs II of Brunei Darussalam. His Excellency Prak Songkhon, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Kingdom of Cambodia. His Excellency Sugiono, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia. His Excellency Tongsavan Pomvinhane, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Lao People's Democratic Republic. His Excellency Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan, Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Singapore. His Excellency Mari Sagyampongsa, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Thailand. His Excellency Bui Tan Son, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. His Excellency Kao Nhun U, Acting Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar. His Excellency Bendito dos Santos Freitas, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste. His Excellency Dr. Kao Kim Horn, Secretary General of ASEAN. Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning and selamat datang. Welcome to the 58th ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting held under the theme of Malaysia's ASEAN Chairmanship for 2025, Inclusivity and Sustainability. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to invite everyone to kindly rise for the ASEAN Anthem. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Do kindly be seated. Please join me in giving a warm round of applause to the talented children, singers, and their dedicated choir instructors for a truly graceful and inspiring performance. The rendition of the ASEAN Anthem, The ASEAN Way, was proudly presented by the graceful children from the Malaysian Federation of the Deaf and the National Choir of Malaysia. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm privileged to invite the chair of the 58th ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting, the Honourable Datuk Seri Utama Haji Mohamad bin Haji Hassan, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Malaysia, to deliver his welcoming remarks.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar bin Ibrahim, Prime Minister of Malaysia. Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Haji Fadilah bin Haji Yusof, Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia. Excellencies, Foreign Ministers of ASEAN Member States. His Excellency Dr. Kao Kim Hoon, Secretary General of ASEAN. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. Datuk Sri, let me begin by expressing my deepest appreciation to you, sir, for your presence today. I know you just arrived from Rio at 3 a.m. this morning, and you still made it here for this. I thank you very much for that. Datuk Sri, on behalf of the Malaysian government, I am pleased to welcome our ASEAN colleagues back to Kuala Lumpur for the 58th ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting. ASEAN has come a long way since its inception 58 years ago. On that day, 5 of our leaders gathered to plant the seeds of our community with the signing of the Bangkok Declaration. This was a major turning point in the history of the region. In 1967, ASEAN was born into a world defined by nuclear brinkmanship and proxy wars being fought across the globe. Amid such tensions, it was a visionary act to bring 5 Southeast Asian nations together in the name of peace. In a world fragmented by conflict, our founders choose to build bridges and uplift multilateralism. Today we face newer threats: climate change, disruptive technologies, societies driven apart by political and economic polarization. In the realm of geopolitics, great power rivalries cast their long shadows across our region. Protectionism endangers the open multilateral trade which powered our growth. Distant conflicts disrupt our markets, supply chains, and food security. These issues endanger us all, but especially those of us in the global south. We in ASEAN must focus our effort toward the full future-proof Southeast Asia. We must keep our spirit of strategic autonomy and collective action alive. With the torch now in our hand, we must lead our peoples into a safer, more equitable future. In pursuit of this goal, Malaysia's chairmanship is guided by the aspirations of inclusivity and sustainability. We aim to strengthen regional peace, stability, and prosperity within a future-oriented framework anchored in these values. Just weeks ago in this hall, our leaders signed the Kuala Lumpur Declaration on ASEAN 2045, our shared future, and adopted the ASEAN Community Vision 2045. This 20-year vision aims for a resilient, innovative, and people-centered ASEAN. That journey begins now. Our course shall be steered by ASEAN centrality, allowing us to shape regional architecture on our terms. With this strategic clarity, ASEAN will engage our 11 dialogue partners in the upcoming post-ministerial conferences, laying the groundwork for the ASEAN Plus 3 and East Asia summits. This ensures economic cooperation and strategic trust move in tandem. We will also convene the ASEAN Regional Forum with renewed resolve, affirming its role as the region's key platform for political security dialogue. ASEAN's principles are being embraced well beyond our region. Later today, we welcome Algeria and Uruguay as new signatories to the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation. Our Foreign Minister of Algeria and also Uruguay also in this hall, Datuk Sri. And on Friday, Malaysia will host the fourth cooperation among East Asian countries for Palestinian development, reaffirming ASEAN's solidarity with the Palestinian people. As I conclude, I remind my colleagues, ASEAN has never shied away from ambition. Our work carries the hopes and features of the nearly 700 million souls we represent. This stage is set and the moment is ours. Datuk Sri, it is now my privilege to invite you, Prime Minister of Malaysia, to deliver your opening address. The stage is yours, sir. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Untuk Mak San, Menteri Luar yang mempengusikan sidang, saudara saya TPM Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof, Menteri-Menteri, rakan-rakan Menteri-Menteri ASEAN, tuan-tuan utama, saudara-saudari yang dimuliakan. Satu penghormatan lagi kepada Malaysia, tatkala mempengusikan ASEAN tahun ini dan menyelenggara sidang utama hari ini, kerana di sinilah tapak untuk kita kembangkan perbincangan pada bulan Oktober nanti. Izin kami menyatakan bahawa kekuatan ASEAN inilah jaminan keamanan. Kekuatan ASEAN ini ialah jaminan pertumbuhan ekonomi. Dan kekuatan ini juga diharapkan untuk menjaga kepentingan rakyat ASEAN keseluruhannya. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, may I begin and seek your indulgence to express my personal feelings and concern, as I also expressed to my friends, foreign ministers, this morning. That is, from the most senior leaders in ASEAN to the present, we have achieved thus far due to the level of trust, friendship among leaders, and I believe foreign ministers too. The more contentious issues like Myanmar, the 5-point consensus, whether to be able to meet Prime Minister Military Junta and NUG Prime Minister. When we discuss with the leaders, without exception, full of support and confidence shown. Similarly, after the event, we were able to engage again to seek a common platform, understanding how to proceed. Even the unfortunate incidents recently between Cambodia and Thailand, which of course most leaders, all ASEAN leaders, do express some concern. But we had no inhibition at all to immediately call our colleagues, in both countries, to express our concern and to support all endeavors, initiative to secure a lasting peace. We have gone through phases to ensure a relative success of ASEAN, including areas that we think have faced some limitations, like inter-ASEAN trade, joint investments. But we have done relatively well because, again, I must reiterate the level of trust and confidence that we have among ourselves. I've just returned, as you know, from Rio. I was in Italy, France before that. Without exception, meeting leaders, of course, bilateral sessions with Malaysia, but without exception, they all ask about ASEAN. Everyone have recognized the role of ASEAN. ASEAN now has come and achieved a spectacular position, measure of respect and recognition internationally, and I must thank you all, and particularly the foreign ministers. So welcome officially to Kuala Lumpur for the 58th ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting. We are at the moment where we have to make courageous choices about ASEAN's priorities, our voice in the world, how we shape the region between now and 2045. So again, thank you to the foreign ministers, leaders, for the trust shown to us this year and next year to the Philippines. And I've assured President Bongbong Marcos that this part of our endeavor will give all the necessary support and cooperation to ensure the success. ASEAN, as reflected by Foreign Minister Hassan, was not born of ease. It was forged in complexity by nations that understood the perils of divisions and the promise of dialogue. Yet we have persevered and preserved peace and expanded prosperity in ways few regions can equal. We did so by nurturing a habit of cooperation, a willingness to keep engaging, and even in the past, nothing to do with my sleep. Our region's strength, therefore, lies not in the absence of tension, but in our commitment to manage it through mutual respect, continuous dialogue, and the search for consensus. That is the ASEAN way. It must remain our guide. We also look forward to welcoming Timor-Leste as our newest member in October. Malaysia has long supported this aspiration, and we were heartened by the progress made. And thank again Secretary of the Secretariat for facilitating. And I urge all member states to continue supporting Timor-Leste's path to full integration, not only into our institutions, but for the region's future. Above all, ASEAN centrality must be our North Star, as reflected by the continuous strengthening and innovation of ASEAN-led institutions. We must remain the region's primary anchor for dialogue, inasmuch as our dialogue partners must continue to find value in engaging with us. Foreign Minister Hassan is complaining of his headache because everywhere we go, leaders want to at least participate. If they can't join, they want to participate. So I say, please persuade your colleagues, the foreign ministers, that we will we are very likely to have President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa and Lula da Silva of Brazil wanting to join, at least representing their regions. I'm just giving a suggestion. The problem is for the foreign ministers to then facilitate. That's why you are here today. Now, you see, that level of understanding and confidence is unheard of, and it's not the pattern observed by many other regions. I'm very proud. I'm not exaggerating, but I am extremely delighted to be able to contribute and participate with the level of support and trust and friendship shown by all these countries and their leaders. And therefore, please convey my respects to your respective leaders and governments, and wish them well and continue to engage and ensure that the success of ASEAN in the future is rest assured. Now, this meeting takes place amid the unraveling of assumptions where power unsettles principle and calm can no longer be taken for granted. The global order is fraying, conflict, coercion, mistrust now define too many relationships, and countless lives are being lost or overturned in their wake. In Gaza and Palestine, we witness the unrelenting suffering of an entire people, denied dignity and justice across generations. In Ukraine, war grinds on. Across parts of Africa, violence continues to displace and devastate. And in Myanmar, regrettably, peace remains elusive even as suffering deepens. We are also deeply troubled by mounting tensions in the Middle East, with the actions of one state against its neighbors threaten to spark a wider regional conflagration. The risks are profound for energy security, global stability, and the integration of international law. The multilateral system cannot endure if its principles are upheld only when convenient. ASEAN must be among those who choose to stand for rules, even when others choose to retreat. Realism and values are not opposing forces. We need both to guide our choices and to defend what matters. Ministers, Excellencies, power has always shaped trade, but today it increasingly defines it. Across the world, tools once used to generate growth are now wielded to pressure, isolate, and contain. Tariffs, export restrictions, and investment barriers have now become the sharpened instruments of geopolitical rivalry. This is no passing storm. It is a new weather of our time. Now, ASEAN must confront this reality with clarity and conviction. We must read the landscape clinically, speak with coherence, act with foresight. Our cohesion must not end at declarations. It must be built into our institutions, our strategies, and our economic decisions. I therefore urge even closer alignment between ASEAN's foreign and economic policy tracks. Our foreign and economic ministers must move in concert in facing challenges. This imperative is fully aligned with ASEAN's Vision 2045, which calls for greater synergy across pillars and sectors. We must build habits of coordination that match the realities we confront. And as we navigate external pressures, we need to fortify our internal foundations, trade among ourselves, invest more in one another, and advance integration across sectors with resolve. To build a stronger, more connected ASEAN economy is a strategic imperative that will anchor our relevance and resilience for decades to come. We must also reject the idea that the world can be carved into spheres of influence and that decisions about our region can be made elsewhere. We are a region that charts its own course, deliberately, coherently, and with purpose. ASEAN will not be spoken for in absentia. Ministers, Excellencies, as global conditions remain uncertain, there is no overstressing the need to act with purpose in our own region. By advancing cooperation that delivers tangible benefits to our people, ASEAN will continue to focus on practical collaboration, connectivity, food security, digital transformation, education, public health, and climate resilience. These efforts take shape in the quiet determination of a mother in Battambang, preparing her stall as dawn breaks over the city. They endure the steady hands of a farmer in central Luzon, tending the land that has sustained generations. And they shine in the hopeful eyes of a child in Chiang Rai, walking to school with dreams of the future. From Situe to Merauke, from Da Nang to Delhi, our region can become more peaceful and more prosperous if we have the courage to see ASEAN not as nations moving in parallel, but as one community moving with purpose. This is where ASEAN proves its worth, not in communiques, but in outcomes that strengthen our region and serve our people. So let this meeting reaffirm our conviction that ASEAN will remain coherent, resilient, and respected. And with that, I declare the 58th ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting officially open. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar bin Ibrahim, Prime Minister of Malaysia. We'd like to invite Yang Amat Berhormat to kindly return to his seat. With that resounding call to action for ASEAN to fortify our unity and resilience, reminding all of ASEAN on centrality being the fundamental principle in defining our collective interests and delivering tangible progress for our people, we move forward into the agenda for the 58th edition of the Foreign Ministers' meetings. Let us once again, ladies and gentlemen, hold in our hearts the spirit of centrality that embodies everything that ASEAN hopes to accomplish as it moves forward into the future. Ladies and gentlemen, next, we have a special performance by Istana Budaya that combines elements of drumming and martial arts, echoing the harmonious rhythms of Malaysia's many cultures. Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to feast your eyes on the many colors and wonderful cacophony of stage performance that is presented to you this morning. Please, a round of applause for the wonderful talents of Istana Budaya. Round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen, for our talented performance. Truly outstanding and captivating this morning. The music, dance, and the visual arts are inspired by the textures, sounds, and rhythms of the environment, drawing inspiration from Malaysia's emblematic flora and fauna. As we honor the artistry of our people, we also pay tribute to the land that grounds us and the natural heritage that continues to shape our identity. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the beauty of everyday life here in Malaysia. And on that note, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to now welcome our distinguished guests to the stage for our photo opportunities. First, for the official photograph, may we kindly invite all foreign ministers of ASEAN, the solemn leader of Myanmar, the foreign minister of Timor-Leste, the ASEAN Secretary General, and the Honorable Prime Minister of Malaysia to kindly join us on stage. Let us record the first official photograph. And now let us have a photograph with the ASEAN Way handshake. This one always brings everyone closer. And our final photograph, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring out our performers for a nice big group photograph reflecting the theme of Malaysia's ASEAN Chairmanship, inclusivity and sustainability. Once again, introducing our performers from Istana Budaya, we also have the National Choir in attendance, and the very graceful and talented performers, the children from the Federation of Deaf Malaysia. We'd like to direct everyone's attention to the cameras in front for our final photograph.
Okey, penonton, inilah yang kami bawakan kepada anda saat yang dinanti-nantikan, iaitu berkenaan opening ceremony. Ya, pastinya pembukaan yang telah pun disampaikan oleh Menteri Luar Negeri, iaitu Datuk Seri Haji Muhammad Dwi Hassan, dan diteruskan dengan ucap tama daripada Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. Dan seperti yang kita saksikan tadi, kesemua Menteri Luar Negeri daripada kalangan negara-negara anggota ASEAN bergambar bersama-sama dengan Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri. Ini memperlihatkan kebersamaan dan juga penyatuan kita untuk menuju satu aspirasi yang bersama, masa depan yang dikongsi bersama.
Yes, indeed. And of course, history has been made today to all our viewers at home on the 58th ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting, officially opened by our Prime Minister, Honourable Prime Minister of Malaysia, Datuk Seri Anwar bin Ibrahim. And there were a lot of instances where he shared which were key points of our discussion